just didn't matter. But I ran the numbers the other day again, and it seems a lot faster, like if you run the numbers. So we'll see, man. And it's very possible that Descaled might be might have a different location. I might get an actual building to do Descaled out of. So that's something that's possible. Hopefully so. We'll see. But like I said, apologize that it's I never seen you glitch. Mac, what's up, bro? Yeah. Are you talking about on YouTube, Mac? Are you talking about on YouTube? No, on here. Yeah. No, I'm talking about on YouTube, right? So, every day, Jude, hey, good morning. Every day, and literally every day, every live that Descaled has, there are people on YouTube, people that we all know, and there's other people that don't, and they'll just come on here and say, hey, look, a fat Joe Rogan. There was a dude who came out here the other day. He was like, is that Joe Rogan? And the other person was like, nah, he's too fat. So he looks like Joe Rogan. It's like, take your hat off. I was like, take my hat off. Why? Is that Joe? I was like, Joe Rogan? Like, bro, the only similarities that me and Joe Rogan have is that our skin is not very pale or very dark, and we're males. That's the only similarity. Like, bro, we look nothing alike. It's crazy. But anyway, even those people are like, hey, man, you're glitching. We're leaving. And they weren't lying because there were other people saying that I was glitching. Jose Rogan. Leave it to Cornerstone leave it to Cornerstone to make it better, bro. Thank you for helping them out. I'm glad you didn't say that when they're out here. They're like, oh yeah, Jose, Senor Rogan.
Yes, it is Senor Yo Rogan.
Yeah, Senor Yo Rogan. Make sure to put the R's in there. Senor Rogan. Oh, man. Christian, what's up, bruh? What's going on?
What's going on, man? God bless.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, no, I was telling, the whole 5 people that's in here, I was telling all 5 of them that it's possible that Descaled will have a actual building. That'd be pretty cool. So,
what?
Yeah, man, looking forward to that. Yeah. It's very possible.
Lord willing, man.
Yeah. It's very possible. Very possible. So we'll see. There's a few places.
You up so early, man. What's going on?
I know. I already, trust me, you were number one on my mind. I was like, man, I don't even know if Flip's gonna get up, dude. Like, it's freaking way early for him. Sometimes at least once or twice a week, man, it's hard, bro, to do the show at 8 to 10. Sometimes I don't get off till freaking 4. And the things that I wanted to do, I get like half of it done. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that all the time. So, so today I was like, bro, I got way too much to do. So I'm going to have to get on at 7 and get off around 9. Like, literally, I got to get off around 9. He's got things to do today. Timber, got to cut that timber. Yeah, got to cut that timber. Yeah.
Timber to get internet. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Do what?
You got to cut wood to get internet?
What do you mean, got to cut wood to get internet?
You said you got to cut timber, and you said something about internet.
It will be Descaled global worldwide, wide, like Step Brothers. Yeah, wide. It'll be wide. Yeah, cutting timber and internet. Yeah, they're 2 different conversations. Somebody's saying that the reason that I'm saying I got to start early to get off earlier is because I got to go cut that timber, which that's true. But the internet conversation is I changed. Okay, so I had two internets, right? I had the original one, and I don't know if y'all. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't understand the speeds. That I just never cared to understand until it affected me. It's kind of like, it's just like anything in life. Like there's people in China that are having. I'm just naming up somewhere that's far away from us. Okay, like I don't care if it's Russia, England. I don't care where it is, but there's people across the world, which China's kind of one of them, but that they're having a hard time in their life. I don't have to know who they are. They're having a hard time. They don't got to live right next door to me. They're having a hard time. It's everywhere, right? And you don't let it bother you. I mean, because you stress yourself out. I mean, you'll just unalive yourself thinking about all the problems in the world. So, dial up and Wi-Fi. Yeah, no lie. What has to shovel coal?
Hey, so you said Descale's gonna be in a warehouse?
Yeah, warehouse. What?
Yeah, you mentioned warehouse.
Warehouse.
He said a building.
Did he say warehouse?
Oh, building.
No, he's no, he's just. I think he's just saying warehouse because he's saying building. Yeah, but anyway, the point I'm making, the point I'm making. No, it's not. But I know why he said it. Anyway, the point I'm making is, well, is this right here? Is anyway, I started learning like the numbers, download and uploads, and I'm like, man, what does it matter anyway? So if you know anything about numbers when it comes to speeds of internets, and I don't remember which one shows up first, like the upload or download, I don't recall, but the one that shows up is on the left side. It says, like the experts say, that you want that number to at least be around 100, okay? One of the numbers. Let me just make it clear. I don't recall if it's upload or download, okay? That's not the point. The point is there's two numbers. Jose Rogan. I want to thank Cornerstone for the nickname Jose Rogan, because there is a person that just popped up on YouTube. I do not know who that person is, and it just went viral. So that's not. We're gonna have to keep the inside jokes, like wide, inside. We have to make them inside. Well, anyway, so the left number, they say you want it to be at least 100, and your right number. I got plenty answers on this. Too many answers on this one. Some people say you want it at least 20 or 25. Some say 30, but a lot of other people say if it's at least 5 or 6, you're good. And I'm like, that's a weird number, 5 or 6. Well, anyway, so 100 to and 5. Those are the numbers that they're saying that you need to be at least around there. If not, you got some real bad numbers. Well, just to give you an idea, again, the numbers that you at least want to have is 105. Mine were 30 and 10. 30 and 10. Those were my numbers. If you know anything about internet, 100's not the best, but they're saying if you want decent internet, you want it to be 105. My old internet was 30 and 10. Okay, that was my old internet. My new internet is somewhere between 4 and 450 and 7. So the one that was a 10 is a 7, which again, if it's at least a 5 or a 6, you're good. 30 and 10. Yeah, 30 and 10 was the old internet. That was the one that was always giving me problems. Now it's a 400, 4 to 450 and 7. So talking to the experts, they're saying, dude, that's fast. So just to prove it to myself, and trust me, I have downloaded dozens of apps on my phone. And so what I did is I went and, looked up, okay, if I was going to download an app, what would it be? And I was being honest with myself. And I said, I'm going to do this 3 times. And I picked 3 apps that was just typical apps like I've downloaded before. Usually it would take an app probably about a minute to upload to my phone. Okay. And all three of them took maybe 3 seconds, or I'm not kidding you. And if 3 seconds, if I'm wrong, my bad, 4. I'll even give you 5. That should at least show you how much faster it is. I'm not saying it's better than your internet, but it went from being literally like about 50 seconds, 60 seconds, to literally maybe 5 seconds. And I did this back to back. So I did one app, and I mean, within 5 seconds, it was like, whoosh. And then I think the second app, and I'm not kidding, you can even ask my heifer, that second app might have taken 2 seconds. I mean, it was like, zzz, boop. And then the other one was about another 3 to 5 seconds. I mean, I did 3 apps in less than 30 seconds, and usually 3 apps would have taken me 3 minutes. So, it's just as long as it's 7 times 77. We got talking about in here. Yeah. So again, I apologize to everybody about how early it is, but and the thing that Flip brought up, that it's possible that here pretty soon I might be able to move Descaled into an actual building. So it's very, very possible, and I don't know. We'll see. I looked at a lot of buildings, real estate buildings, and wow, some of them are just like, I can't believe people would even pay. I was looking at one of them. First of all, just so you know, I'm not going to that one. I was just curious, and it was I want to say it was maybe 1,000 square feet. I think it was 800, maybe. It's like 800 square feet, and it was like $4,500, like almost $5,000 for 800 square feet in this one place. I was like, $4,500 for what? I'm like, bro, do y'all even got water in here? Which they did in the very back, but I was like, who's going to rent this? They're like, oh, you'd be surprised. Well, yeah, you're right. I'll be surprised. Anybody get that $4,500?
Yeah, you're right. I am surprised.
I'm so surprised. 800 square feet. Like, I can understand if it was maybe 2,000 square feet, because then maybe you can make a pizza place or something, but 800 square feet. I'm like, bro, and my numbers aren't perfect, but I know it was under 1,000. So 850, fine. 850, 4,500. I was like, what? And then I went to this other place, and this lady was like, $400 space. I was like, $400? I was like, oh my God, what is it, a closet? I was just curious. And I just kind of communicated. I was like, $400 for what exactly? And she's like, and she gave me these numbers. I need to go see it. Her numbers are not right. She's like 8.5 by 5 by 2. I'm like, by 2? You're telling me something in that room is 2 feet. So is that
2-foot ceilings?
Yeah. I'm like, is it like 2 this way? Or I said, now if it's 2 feet back, I mean, that's about enough for me to sit down, but was it 8 feet wide? Well, let me see if I measured. Matter of fact, this little spot that I'm in, like where I'm at and back wrap, that might be about 2 feet. I guess 2 feet by 8. I don't know, but I'm still going to go look at it, because there ain't no way. She told me 2 by 8. It was like 8 by 2 by 5 or something. I'm like, 8 by 2 by 5. I'm like, I can't even comprehend.
800 by 200
yeah.
by 500.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. I was like, I didn't want to tell her, but I'm like, there's no way those numbers are right. There's no way. And then
just ask if you can get the actual dimensions. I've done commercial real estate.
Yeah, no, I told her. I said, can you? I said, hey, what's the square footage in that room? And she goes, oh, it's, and she told me 8 by 2 by 5 or something. And I said, And what
do you have a maintenance?
Yeah, I tried
guy
to
that you can ask.
Yeah, well, I tried to trick her into. I said, I'm real bad at math. Can you actually give me the square footage? And she sent me the same numbers. And I'm like, I was hoping she did the math herself. And I'm like, well, that is not the equation. 8 by 2 by 5 by 2. What's the by 2? There's no way unless it's 20, 8 by 20 by 5. I don't know, man.
Ma'am, you're living in the flesh.
Yeah, she's in the flesh. So, man, we're gonna have to get you.
Hey, me. Maybe she meant in cubits.
That's it. I'm gonna tell her that she needs to think soberly minded. She's being too carnally minded. Yes. That's what it is. Let me see.
Yeah. So when you said that Descaled's moving to a new place, I was expecting you to move us all in and start like a reality show, like Big Brother or something.
A reality show.
A reality show would start.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, that reality show would be derailed. We do that at least 30 minutes a day.
Welcome to Derail.
Welcome to Derail. Like this symbol back here, instead of it being like a brownish, like brown, black, and green, it's gonna like get all like gray. Like the black is gonna stay black. This is gonna be gray. This is gonna be white, bro. Like it's gonna get all dark background. Derailed. Yeah. So anyway,
we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, so I looked at a bunch of excuse me. I asked a lot of questions. I got online. I looked at a bunch of places, and there's a few of them. There's one of them, like it's like like a room in a house. I guess it's probably, let me see. It might be the size of this room. It might be, let's see, 15 by 12, maybe. Something like that. 20 by 15, 15 by 12, somewhere in there, because it's more a rectangle. And really, honestly, it don't need to be in it. Because, okay, so you have a whole building, right, that you can rent, and those are going to be, majority of those are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 square feet. You got this whole building. And then they have the things that's more like, even though it's its own building, like inside that big building, there's like 3 rooms. They call them suites. They have those things, but they kind of want to put you like in the area where somebody's doing something similar. And there was this lady saw me asking questions. She's like, hey, I got a room, so many 100 square feet. I think she said that room is like, she might have said 500 square feet, which that's not bad. The room that she's referring to, but she was like, oh, and next door to you will be this and that. And I'm like, next door to me will be a what? She says it again. I have no idea what that is. So I got to Google this. And it's basically a fancy word for talking about someone that waxes, women. Like, just, I'm guessing everything. I don't know. And I said, hey, you're talking about a lady who waxes people like that? She's like, yeah, she said it's a beauty salon. I was like, so next to me is gonna be a person who wax. And I said, and what did you say the other one is? Oh, microblading. I was like, what the heck is that? She's like, micro. I said, no, I promise you, I do not know what you just said. No, I don't know what that is. She's like, oh, it's kind of like a tattoo, but it goes in your eyebrows. I said, so a tattoo shop? No. I'm like, you just literally just said. She goes, no, but it's called microblading. All right, whatever. So, and then, and the other one is something else similar to that, Aesthetician. Jude, I have no idea. Maybe. Well, I'm telling you, when she put that word on there, I was like, she must have misspelled something. I have no idea what that is. But basically, it's like a beauty salon. They got an open suite in there. And I'm like, I appreciate the offer, but, I'm going to be doing this. And I don't know. I'm like, nah, I don't think that'd be.
Man, you know how much I pay, bro?
Texas?
Do what?
You're going to have a lot of loud Latinas next to you.
I don't know. I think I can out loud them, to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to put egg carts or crates or whatever, egg cartons all over the place and make it more soundproof, I guess. I don't know. There's a bunch of everybody in that.
You be humble, man. You know how much I pay for an apartment that's 400 square feet? I pay $1,600 a month, man.
You pay $1,600 a month for a 400 square foot apartment? Yeah, but see, you live in crazy California, brother. We're in Texas.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So in Texas, a 500 square foot, just depending kind of like the area or whatever, bro, it's going to be probably, it's kind of like $100 a square foot, bro, basically.
No way. That's too cheap, man.
No, bro, no, I'm saying like now.
Bro, we don't live in broom closets out here.
Yeah, bro, like I'll tell you right now, let me say this. Before everything started going up, because it has, and I mean in the past 5 years, right? So I'll give you a year. So right now, so let's say 2018. I'll give you that year. 2017 and 18. Around that time, you could have still in Texas and a lot of places, you could have still bought a 2,500, 3,000 square foot house for $300,000. Somewhere around there. That's about the
freaking way.
Yeah, way.
That is way too cheap. Nah.
Yeah, that's why we live here, brother. I don't know why you're over there Looney Tunes
so
over there.
There's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason all the people left Texas. There's a reason. Or I mean, no, not Texas, California.
Yeah, California. Texas. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I meet people from California all the time out here. And there was a guy that lived, hold on, let me fix what I'm saying because Brenda said, I'm going to Texas. Well, hold on, Brenda. I said 2017, 18. So the Californian people were like, hey, my parents passed away. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell that property. Bro, I seen these people's houses in California. I could not believe the mud hole that they made basically $1 million. I mean, well, some of them is like 700,000, 800,000. And I'm like, $800,000? 2-bedroom. I don't even need a bulldozer to push over this house that they sold. The lot, I mean, it looked like the whole lot was freaking 2,000 square feet. The whole lot. And then the house is built on. I'm like, what? How much square footage is the house? They're like, oh, it's like 800 square feet. Bro, that's my bedroom. What are you talking about? Your whole house is 800 square feet. Oh my God. I'm like, bro, y'all are used to, I mean, I just can't. I mean, y'all are so, you could get so content with junk. You really can. And make yourself believe that you're living in luxury because your other house, it went from 550 square feet to 800. Oh my God, 800 square feet. Bubba, that is my bedroom. The heck are you talking about? Your whole house is 800 square feet. So these people in California, they mash everyone into this little bitty area, and then they got their big houses out here, and they tell all these other little scumbags, hey, y'all go live over there, 300 square feet homes. I'm gonna sell it to you for $1 million. These people suck into it like a bunch of goofballs. It's like, bro, what the heck is wrong with you? You need to be free. You're freaking in Egypt. Get out of Egypt, for God's sake.
I was about to say that's a good metaphor for faith, that we can convince ourselves that we have everything. We have $1 billion. We have everything, and you live in a 200 square foot space instead of being free with the Lord.
Yeah, you're not free. You're freaking a slave.
You're in jail.
You're in jail. You're in prison for real. You freaking what's that movie where Jim Carrey is like they got cameras? He's like a TV show. Can't remember what
it's
Truman Show.
It's
Truman Show. Yeah. Sorry, California is the Truman Show, bro. California, that's the Truman Show. You put everybody together. Well, when you put a bunch of people together, why do you think prison's so crazy in there? Because you get a bunch of alpha males, or they think they are, and they're just a bunch of lunatics, and you put them together. What do you think they're going to do? They're all self-centered. If they stuck a camera in the prisons, I wouldn't have to buy. I don't need any more entertainment. That'd be all I need right there. You see a bunch of 40-year-old grown man arguing over a pencil. for 5 hours, bro. It's like, okay.
Hey, funny thing is they would do that because there was a riot that was caused by a remote control. FYI.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it,
Yeah.
bro. I'm telling you, if you want to know what it's like in prison, I don't know why people make you believe you have to be there. If you're not there, you don't know. Really? Really? Somebody prove me wrong then on this. I'll go get a bunch of 15, 20 kids from ages 7 to 13. 50 of them, 20 of them, whatever the number is. Put them in one room and let's see how long it takes before a riot breaks out. That's prison. It's not hard. If you want to know what it's like, that's what it's like. Everybody wants their, how do kids act? I want my way. They don't use those words, but mine. What do you got? What do you got? No, I want that. What is that over there? Mine. If you want to know what it's like, and if anybody's to say, you don't know that, bro, you don't know, somebody prove me wrong then. I'm telling you right now, that's exactly it. You don't have to be there, bro. You don't have to be there. All you got to do is look at the majority of the people that go, have a conversation with them, and 90% of them, they think like a kid. 90% of them. It's all about them, very self-centered. Now, if you think the topic is to like make fun of how dumb some people are that go to prison, you're missing the point. We have dumb people, they don't ever go to prison. They're dumb. They live out here. I'm saying when you grab a bunch of people who are very self-centered and you put them in a confined little space, all you need is one camera. That's all you need. And that is California. That's what they did. They took a whole bunch of people and pushed them all. And before you know it, you got 25,000 gangs. They're all killing each other. And everybody, all the rich people are back there with popcorn looking at them like a bunch of fools laughing. They see them on TV all day. That's their little show they watch all day long. They don't go over there. They tell them, hey, y'all stay over there. All 50 million of y'all on 5 acres. Y'all stay over there and we'll live on the rest of the land over here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, Flip over here talking about 400 square foot for how much, Flip? Did you say?
I pay $1,600 a month.
16.
That's crazy.
I can't even fathom that. 400 square
Y'all are
feet.
living in the West. You need to move east.
400. Bro, that is like the smallest bedroom in Texas, bro. And when I say bedroom, I'm talking about like my niece and nephew. Their bedroom is 400 square feet. Their bedroom, bro. Your whole house is, my Lord have mercy. Jeez. I'd be better.
New York too.
I'd be better off go living outside. What the heck?
Honestly,
And that's why they
Save your
have so
money,
many
bro.
tent cities, Trot.
just live in a car.
I mean, go live in a car.
Making a car
You know? Dang. I'd buy a van. I'd buy a van. Take everything out of the van. You know, live in that bad boy.
Got that bad boy.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Hey,
1,600.
Trot, I
for
live
Yeah.
in a van down by the river.
Down by the river.
Basically how much I pay for a house.
Yeah, now I see why there's so many
here in
beach bums.
Indiana.
I see. Let's see. Beck. Hold on. Beck said topic.
It's wild.
Beck,
Go to topic.
we're about to hop on the topic. Beck. Does anybody know Beck? I don't know Beck.
Nope.
And if we don't know you, Beck, nothing personal. Watch Beck be like, what? I've been coming here for 6 months. Oh, my. Sorry. I apologize. Yeah, we'll hop on something here in a minute. Let me see. All right. Well, we might as well talk about something. Heck. Anybody got a question about something? I've been here a few times. Tammy knows me. Yeah, no, Beck, like I said, nothing personal. So many, man, I hate it when people change their name or their picture. I'm like, golly. And I know maybe you rush to make an account. You know, somebody throws a picture up there and they're like, you know what? I don't like that picture. I'm going to change it. And I'm like, oh, God, please don't change your name. They change their name and their picture. And they're like, you don't remember me? I'm like, well, you're not helping. Appreciate it. You know, not helping. But
I was just gonna say, when Flip was talking about you doing timber for your internet, I was picturing you shoveling coal, trying to speed up your internet.
yeah. Come on, boys. Come back to the camera. Got like cold dust all over my face. I'm like, hey guys, is this still glitching? They're like, yeah. But there's always someone every day. There's multiple people, at least 4 or 5 that are like, hey, man. And then yesterday, and I'm not kidding, this happens almost every day, at least 2 or 3 times a week. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but my screen will go like real dark gray. Like, you can still see everything, but there's no more color and it dims itself. And there's one of those little circles show up and it says reconnecting. And it does it like 3 or 4 times a day. Some people, and that's when people are like, hey man, it's glitching. And I'm like, oh my Lord, dude. So even though we have better internet now, well, we're believing that the internet is better. The numbers are showing to be true. I ran some speed tests on it. So the numbers are right. But we'll see. We'll see. And I'm going to know for sure because when this live's over, I'm going to see how long it takes for it to, completely, I don't know, download to YouTube, the video, because it does it automatically. And I'm not kidding you. My last internet, I want to say it took about, and I'm not even kidding. Every hour that's recorded takes about almost 2 hours to upload to YouTube. So there are some times we're on here for 4 hours, and I'm not kidding. It takes 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even longer, for that video to 100% get uploaded to YouTube. So based on the math, or not math, but the numbers, I'm going to guess it's going to take maybe 5 minutes an hour now, to be honest with you. So it's not going to take very long.
Hey, Trot.
Yeah.
Hey, Saba got a question.
Oh, Saba, what's up?
God bless everyone.
Hey.
Morning. So, I had a person yesterday on my live, right? And this guy, he was really speaking like the way that you teach, he understood like really, from the Bible, like good amount of stuff that you teach, like, right, on this scale. But at the end, we found out that he was a Jehovah Witness, right? So he was talking about the Holy Spirit. Nowhere in the concordance we can find that the Holy Spirit is basically, or, Jesus is called as God, as divine, something like that.
Yeah, well, let me say this. Let me say this before you finish, though. So you got to remember, and I've learned this, and there's only one way to tell, and it's to sit there and have a conversation with them, right? So, okay, so like the shadows of Christ, any person that believes like in the Bible, like that they claim they do, they're going to pick up on shadows. They're going to pick up on it. And these people will use anything to infiltrate what you believe to get you into Jehovah Witness. If you don't know anything about a Jehovah Witness is like an Army Ranger. If you haven't learned, all they'll do is they'll figure out what it is you like about the Bible, and they'll learn about those topics as much as they can, and they will come into agreement with a lot of things in there. But the one thing that they can't hide from, there's a lot, but there's one thing that they can't hide from. So listen to what I'm saying. They can sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I agree with that. Oh, and let me teach you about this." They'll say all the things because they don't have a problem with that. It's just that what they say is actually a lot different. Like, for instance, if you say that we are saved by Jesus, they will say yes. And then if you say, okay, what's another thing that they'll agree with? But I'm going to tell you what they're really saying. You have to ask them. You have to ask them about, no. When they say that we're saved by, or that Jesus' blood saves, or Jesus saved, that sin has forgiven because of Jesus, they're not saying the same thing. They'll come into agreement with what you're saying, but what they're thinking about is not the same thing you're thinking about. And what they really believe, the majority of them, is that Adam's sin, or the last Adam paid for the first Adam's sin, meaning just for Adam, not for you, not for anyone else, just for Adam. And you'll have people say, that's not true. We don't believe that. The majority of them do, bro. They just don't like saying that because it's contrary to what other people believe, and they don't want to scare you away from their belief, right? The other thing is, when you start asking them about Jesus, who Jesus is and all these things, they're not going to quickly tell you. They're not going to say it, because that's the thing they're trying to keep you away from. They're not going to tell you that they believe that Jesus is Michael the Archangel. They're not going to tell you that. So,
no.
No, what?
That is not who Jesus is.
Yeah, but that's what they believe, right?
How do you believe it? Never mind.
Well, again, they have their verses they use. Let's see, Chive. Let's see, I'm a Jehovah Witness, and bro,
Yeah, there's verses.
what you talking about? What do you mean? I'm making it clear what I'm talking about. What? Is anybody else confused on what I'm saying? What do you mean? But since you ask,
You are an Army Ranger.
yeah. So, Chive, I'll just Chive 195. I'll just ask you: do you believe that Jesus is Michael the Archangel? That's what I'm talking about. Since you're asking, what are you talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Do you believe that Jesus is the Archangel? I don't see them answering. I guess they figured out what we were talking about. So anyway, let's see. Okay, Saba. Anyway, but those two things, that Jesus is Michael the Archangel, and when we say things like we're saved by Jesus, saved by the blood of Jesus, and things like that, and they'll say, oh, yeah. But what they're meaning is Adam was forgiven for what he did, and now we have to be forgiven. Not that we received a bad gift from the first Adam, which we did. Everyone should know none of us earned the first gift that we got from the first Adam. Nobody earned it. It was given to you. And we didn't earn the gift that Jesus gave us. It was given to us. They both gave us something, but the one you believe in that you have, that's the one you have. So if you say that you're a no good for nothing sinner, that means you honor what the first Adam gave you, but you're not honoring what the last Adam gave you, because it's a gift. They both are. And it's funny that people say, oh, well, now you have Jesus, you have to work. That's funny that I work for the first Adam's gift. No. How are you not seeing this? How are you not seeing you didn't work? Nobody will say they worked for it. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, Chive, thank you for telling us that you agree that Jesus. So look at the verse that she brought up. She said June 9 means chief angel. Well, the word angel means messenger, right? That's all angel means, messenger. So no duh that Jesus is a messenger. No duh, right? I don't know why you shouldn't have brought that one up. Out of all the ones y'all bring up, you shouldn't have brought that one up, because that one is the most simplest one out of all of them. But the point is, they believe that he's an angel rather than the way that we view it, right? And so you make a mistake when you get in fruitfulness arguments and debates with them, because at the end of the day, there are some very important things that we do as believers, and that is just getting other people to be introduced to Christ, not to argue about semantics and splitting hairs. First Thessalonians, Chive, I think you're misunderstanding. There is no ignorance at all on my part, what y'all believe. I don't know why you keep bringing up verses. I've read the Bible. I've read it plenty of times. I understand a lot about the Bible, Hebrew and Greek. I'm not missing a verse. So bringing up 1 Thessalonians 4, I know the verses that y'all use to believe. So, there's no need to defend what you believe. You can believe whatever you want. Okay. You can, how do you say it? Well, all right, you know what? Let's just stay in 2024, right? You can define yourself too, right? Ain't that what we do in 2024, right? People define themselves as whatever they want to define themselves. What's the word they use? Not define. What's the word I'm looking for?
Self-identify.
Identify. Yeah. You can identify as Jehovah Witness. You can identify as anything. I'm not here to take away what you identify. You're accusing us of being divided over small issues, yet you're over here doing exactly that. I'm dividing us by saying what you believe. How is that causing division? I'm telling the truth. I'm not dividing. So nice try for trying to manipulate, which, by the way, Jehovah Witness, y'all are masters at doing that. You're doing it right here. You're trying to manipulate everyone to stop listening to what I'm saying by using the word divide. No, ma'am. I'm telling the truth. And you just admitted that I told the truth. You just admitted, ma'am, by bringing up the verses that you brought up that are 1000% suggesting that you believe that Jesus is Michael the Archangel. So if I'm telling the truth, how is that causing division? Come on, stop, please, just stop, please. Lord have mercy, dude. What you're doing is causing division by not being honest. All I said was y'all believe that Jesus is Michael the Archangel. That's true. And the majority of you believe that the sin of Adam has been paid for. Oh, so now I'm rambling because you have no valid. Oh, so now we're trying. Oh, so what? Look at this. Now she's trying to make it look like we're arguing. Ma'am, you are in the wrong live. All right. There's no way that you're going to sit here and believe that I am trying to debate what you believe. Ma'am, I said it again. You can identify as a cat. I'm not going to go telling everybody that you are or are not a cat. Be a cat if that's what you want to be. If you want to be a Jehovah Witness, go right ahead. There's no argument or debate about that, period. I don't even know what you're talking about. Where's the argument or debate? Let me ask you that. What do you think we're arguing or debating about?
You're already coming with the ad hominems.
Oh, witnesses, a true religion, follow the pattern. Let's see.
Ryan, what does that even mean?
Follows a pattern set by the first century. Okay. All right. Whatever. All right. Chive, have a good day. I don't understand your contention at all. You can believe whatever you want. I promise. I don't have no issue. All right. Okay. Back to Saba. Okay, Saba, go ahead. So get back to where you were at. I just wanted to go over that because there might have been someone that maybe were confused about what some of the beliefs they have.
No, brother. Like, I'm going to do a test from now on my lives, from the beginning. Is Jesus God? Yes or no? Because I almost fell into their preaching. Like, it was so beautiful. Like, until we caught them, it says Jehovah. And then someone asked, are you Jehovah Witness? And they denied. They said, no, but Jesus is Michael because he's an angel. And, and so on and so on.
How do you deny it?
Yeah. So what they've done, and I'm telling you, what they've done, and if you haven't noticed, y'all should start noticing, is a lot of them, like the person that was on here, they come on here and shadow watch. They take all notes about everything that we teach about shadows of Christ, and they try to use that as a tool because, see, they think what they're doing is they're infiltrating the country. right? So basically, if you want to take over a country, you have to infiltrate and you have to learn everything, right? What is the phrase that everybody learned from the Romans? While in Rome, anybody? While in Rome,
Do as the Romans do.
why? Because the Romans basically made everyone believe that if you ever come into Rome, you better play world how we play world, or you're going to jail, bro. So people didn't go into Rome and do whatever they wanted, bro. No. That's what they do in America. America, for a short period of time, kind of had the same thing going. While in America, you do what Americans do. Well, here comes the smart Alex that say, well, what's America? It's made from all the other countries. So here comes the manipulation, a scare tactic to tell the people who are running America to be quiet about America this and America that. You're going to be quiet about that. And like a coward, America as a whole shut their mouth. So now everybody goes, oh, well, while in America, you don't have to be an American. And now we got people running around eating people's animals. It's not hard, right? So Texas, our slogan still remains. Does anybody know Texas slogan? No?
Yeah, the stars are big and bright.
Hold on, Flip. What'd you say, Flip?
The stars at night are big and bright.
No, that's that's a song. Anybody know the slogan?
Oh, okay.
Nobody knows?
Yo, don't mess with Texas.
That's the slogan. Don't mess with Texas. You know what that means? That means while you're in Texas, do as the Texans do. And I'm telling you right now, so far, it's still true. Now, there are big cities like Austin and even Dallas. Dallas is starting to fall victim to this, where people are not liking the fact that when, they don't want to do what Texas does. They don't want to do it. And that's fine, bro. That's fine. The point I'm making is the Jehovah Witness has picked up this tactic. So whatever it is you believe, they're going to find out. You as a person, you have become the city. You have become the land, and they want to take the land. So they feel the best way to do it is to become an Islamic believer. So they're not going to bow down to people of Islam. No. They're going to do what Islam does. That's what they're going to do. They're going to find out what can they say to you to pull you into what they believe. And so they take where Paul says that he becomes whatever to everyone to save them. They take that as a literal thing. So like, for instance, right now there's probably 200 shadow watchers of Jehovah Witness taking notes and is like, oh, wow, what that dude is saying is awesome. They don't really care what I'm saying, but what they do like about it is that it's very intriguing. Like, wow, I wonder if that's true. They could care less whether it's true or not. That what they like about it is talking about Jesus, and they're going to add it to their little war bucket. So whenever they go to the next person, and they're going to find out that, because I'm telling you, they're just like Islamic believers. Nothing is from the heart. They just have a bunch of pamphlets. And whatever you say you believe, they know how to argue against it like an Islamic believer. They're not focused on Christ. They're focused on, what is this person like? Oh, they're like shadows? Let me go to my Descaled page. See, Samson is a shadow of Christ. And Herod, the Bible means faith. Even leaves. Did you know leaves? Wow, matter of fact, that was a new one to me. But anyway, let me go. And they say all the stuff that sounds right. And then right when you're not paying attention, they're like, yeah, because Jesus, Michael, the archangel. You're like, whoa. They're like, it's the same thing. Everything we just went over, it's all the same, and that's what they do. And so, of course, they're going to...
You hear the brakes on a car just squeal, just like, what?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I just saw a question mark. Hold on. Cornerstone, you got a question? What's up?
I was just wondering if there's a correlation between how in Daniel he's told that Michael will stand up for his people, and we see God using Gabriel more in the New Testament, and these two trees, right? These two witnesses, two trees, and obviously we know there's two archangels, Michael and Gabriel, and if there's some kind of affiliation with Michael representing the natural and Gabriel possibly having something to do with the wild.
Yeah, let's go look at their names. Let's go look at Michael, and then let's go look at Gabriel, and let's see what their names mean in English. Can anybody do that? Cornerstone, I don't know if you have gear around you or whatever.
Yeah, Michael. It's who is like God.
Yep. Michael, right? That's the L. Right. So who is like God, and then Gabriel, if you ain't figured out the L part. If you ain't figured that part.
Like man of God, I believe.
Is that what it says, Flip?
Yeah, I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah. I just want to get two to confirm what it says. Let's see.
Yeah, so warrior of God or man of God?
Yeah. Okay.
One of the other.
So Gabriel is man of God, right?
10-4.
Okay. And Michael means what?
Who is like God?
Yeah, Flip, you need to confirm that. So you got man of God.
Yeah.
Who is like, okay, so you got man of God, who is like God. And then when you go in the Old Testament and you look up, let's go look up, let me show you something. Let's go look up names of people in the book of Judges. Okay. So Samson's name is Sunlight. So let's look up Gideon's name. Somebody look up Gideon and make sure that you are in Judges 6 and one of the verses right there that says Gideon. Go look up that name. Don't just Google Gideon. I want to Google the Gideon that comes out of a very specific verse in Judges 6 where Gideon's name is mentioned. So
Hewer. Gideon in that verse, Hewer.
Okay, what does Hewer mean?
Hewer.
What does that mean? Hewer.
Good question.
Somebody who carves and
It could be a carve. It is someone. It is someone. It is someone that is holding a sharp object. I'll say that.
A person who
stone.
cuts wood.
Stone and wood.
A person who cuts wood.
Okay, right. You hew down a tree, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What does the Bible say? That the axe layeth at the tree. Ain't that what it says?
Yep.
Okay. And who cuts the trees? Does the Bible tell us who cuts the trees?
Well, that would be Jesus.
Milk.
No, I want the verse. I want the scripture. Where is the scripture that tells us who cuts the trees down? I got two of them in my head right now. Two. I'm just not gonna say them. Y'all gonna have to search it out. But they're there. It tells us who cuts the trees. And we'll do a few more, and I'll get to the point that I'm making.
How about what's it? Elisha? Is he one of them?
No. I said find the verse. Find the verse.
Oh, okay.
Find the verse. Paul Bunyan. That's it. That's the answer. Paul Bunyan.
You said in the Bible. I don't see no Paul Bunyan in the Bible, bro.
Yeah, that's somebody being silly.
What
My brother being silly in the comments. I don't know why everybody's giving all these answers. Verse. I want the verse. Prove it.
Jeremiah 10, verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one.
No, my Lord have mercy.
Oh, my Lord
Jeez.
have mercy. Come on.
Matthew 3:10.
Read it.
All right. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
Okay, that's close, but who's doing the hewing?
I got one for you.
33 to 34.
All right, Cornerstone, go ahead.
Let's see. Where do you want me to start?
Wherever it tells us who is actually doing the cutting. So the verse that Troy brought up is talking about the axe laying at the root, and it says that trees will be cut down. We should know that this is referring to a serious type of cutting, right? So this is not talking about the Christmas tree in Jeremiah. It's not talking about that. And I know people hate it, but that is a Christmas tree, whether you like it or not. But anyway, I want to know who is doing the hewing.
The Lord.
I got Isaiah 37.
Need a verse.
Starting at 22.
Okay.
Starting at 22. This is the word which the Lord has spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, has despised thee and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head at thee. Whom have you reproached and blasphemed, and against whom have you exalted your voice, and lifted up your eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By your servants have you reproached the Lord, and has said, by the multitude of my chariots, I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and I will cut down the tall cedars thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the height of his border.
All right, who's the I?
The forest of his Carmel.
Who's the I there? What verse is that?
I believe it's
what chapter and verse is that? Or what book, chapter, and verse is that?
Isaiah 37, and the verse is 24.
All right, so who's the I? Okay, figure out who the I is. Who else had a verse?
I did.
What is it?
Isaiah 10:33 to 34.
No, just how many verses? One verse. One verse.
Yeah, just 33 to 34.
All right, go ahead.
One sentence.
Go ahead. Who is it? Who's cutting the trees down?
The Lord of hosts.
Read it. Read it.
Well,
read it. Oh, he got a phone call. Somebody read Matthew 3:10 for love. Matthew 3:10, and when Christian comes back, he'll read his.
Matthew 3:10 says, and now also the axe is laid under the root of the trees, therefore every tree which not bringeth forth fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
Yeah, but who's hewing it down? That's the question, love. Who is doing the hewing? Who's cutting these trees down? Flip, read Exodus 15:22 through 25. My bad, guys. I'm sorry, man. I'm going through the messages right now.
So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord, and shewed him a tree which he had cast into the waters. The waters were made sweet, and he made for them a statute and ordinance, and there he proved them. So I guess that tree was cast into the waters of Marah.
Yeah, we can use that one later, but we can't use that one right now. All right. Isaiah 37:24. Flip, read that, and then Christian's back. He'll read his in a minute. Isaiah 37:24.
All right, Isaiah 37.
Oh, my bad. Is it? Okay, yeah. Christian, go ahead.
Behold, the Lord of hosts, shall lop the bow, said the bow, Bough, with terror, and the high ones of stature shall be hewn down, and the haughty shall be humbled.
Okay, but who's doing the hewing?
The Lord.
Is that what it says? That the Lord's going to do it?
The Lord of hosts shall lop the bough with terror.
All right. All right, let's see.
Isaiah 37, I believe it's the self-exalted are the ones that are hewing the trees.
Yeah, so we don't.
I guess that would be the context of it.
Yeah, so we're not looking at the prideful. We're looking at the other one, right? So who's the righteous one cutting trees down? Nobody can find it. There's one that no one brought up. All right, somebody read Deuteronomy 20. Flip, you might as well be you. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 19 and 20.
All right, Deuteronomy 20, 19 and 20 says, when thou shalt besiege a city a long time and making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war.
Okay, so everybody's bringing verses about trees being cut down, but I don't understand what's so hard about what I'm asking. Who is cutting the trees down? I'm not asking, show me a verse that shows trees being cut down. Who is cutting the trees down? That's the question. Who is doing this cutting of the trees? All right, let's see. Trend said Jeremiah 6:6. Flip. Jeremiah 6:6.
Jeremiah 6:6. All right, so Jeremiah 6:6 says, oh, bro. All right, so it says, for thus hath the Lord of hosts say, hew ye down trees and cast a mount against Jerusalem. This is a city to be visited. She is holy oppression in the midst of her.
Okay, so God is talking to who about hew down the tree? Who's doing the hewing? Again, guys, I need the verse that tells you who is cutting the tree down. Not a verse that talks about trees being cut down. I could find 100 of them. Who's cutting these trees down? All right, Flip, go to John 15. Really, love 1 through 10? Oh, my Lord. Guys, just give us 2 verses. Why are we reading the whole freaking chapter? Just read 1 through 10. John 15, 1 through 10. John 15 is, by the way, a very, very good chapter.
So I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As a branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in a vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah. Okay, so here, who's doing the cutting? It gives an answer.
That's God.
Okay, it's God. Okay, now there's another one. There's another one. John 15. If anybody wanted to know what my favorite book and chapter, it's John 15. That is my 1,000% favorite book and chapter in the entire Bible. That one chapter, if you have been coming to Descaled or listen to Descaled even for 2 or 3 weeks, you read that right there and you can put so much in context just from that one chapter. It's no joke. I'm telling you, when John says what he says in 15, I mean, geez. All right, let's see. Jude said the archangel hews them down. Let's see. Jesus loves. Why? Love. What do you mean, why? Why what?
Why is that your favorite address? That's why.
Well, we can assume that. I don't like to assume what people are saying as much as possible. I still do it. I still assume, but I've learned a lot not to assume. I want the person to tell me.
Okay, so the reference to Michael representing the old natural olive tree, and then Gabriel, the wild olive tree.
Oh, so you're saying that those are the two witnesses, Michael and Gabriel?
No, I was saying the correlation between the two of why it seems like Michael talked to them in the old, but Gabriel was sent to talk to them in the new, right? Announcing to Elizabeth and to Mary about he that was in their womb.
Right. So let's look at their names again. So Michael, we see more in the Old Testament, right? Correct?
Amen.
Okay. And then we see Gabriel a lot more in the New Testament. Okay. So Michael's name means what again? Flip, did you confirm what it meant? If not, go look it up because it's important.
He who is like God.
Huh?
He who is like God.
Okay. So Michael means he who is like God. And Gabriel's name means what? Flip, you're going to start writing this down. You're going to make me write it down. Because it can easily you can flip them on accident, and I don't want to.
Man of God or warrior of God.
You should have been wrote them down, Flip.
I know. I'm going to have to write them down. And it's always good, I'm telling you, it's always good to repeat. Like right now, there's not but 40 people in here, but I'm telling you, if you just keep repeating stuff, it'll help people stay on track. You know, just because we're in the panel, it's not okay that, oh, well, all 5 of us, we know what we're talking about. That's not cool. All right, so Gabriel means man of God, and Michael means what again? I don't want to misquote.
Who is like God?
Yeah, who is like God. All right, so what does Isaiah's name mean? Does anyone know? Look up Isaiah's name. And then someone look up.
Guess off of memory. Jehovah has who Jehovah has saved, I believe.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Flip, you looking it up?
Yeah, but my Wi-Fi took a crap.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. All right. Somebody look up. Listen, I need both these names look up. Isaiah and Jeremiah. I need both of these names look up.
Isaiah means Yahweh is salvation.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yahweh is salvation. Okay, and Jeremiah?
Means Yahweh will rise.
You gonna make me
Yahweh will raise.
Yahweh will raise? Hold on. Let me go look.
Yahweh loosens.
I don't know. That don't sound right. But you could be right. It's been a while since I looked it up. It's all right. Let me look it just to confirm.
It's H3414, and I'm with you, Tra. I use the physical book. I don't have.
Yeah, no, I like, hey, bro, let me say this. I love Blue Letter. I like logos. It has risen. Sorry, I had to talk to my heifer. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, what's the is someone on Blue Letter Bible? What's the interlinear for Jeremiah? Is it the same Yah will rise.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is acting up, so I don't know yet.
It's Yahweh will rise, as far as I see. I think Yahweh will rise. Or Yahweh will loosens.
Okay.
All right. So did we come to agreement on Jeremiah? We got at least two people saying the same thing, or no?
So the interlinear is who Jehovah has appointed.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Jehovah has appointed.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, Yahweh has appointed. Appointed
Yeah,
sounds right.
the interlinear.
Yeah. Well, let me do it this way. Let me do it this.
Strong's definition
What's the word?
says from H7311 and H3050, Yah will rise. Jeremy, Jah, the name of 8 or 9 Israelites, Jeremiah.
All right. So let's look at. Excuse me. All right. Let's look at Jeremiah. Let's see. Came to Jeremiah concerning which came. Let me see. Hold on. Okay.
I got it right here.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Are y'all looking up 3414?
Yeah, I got it on the strongest strong, so mine's the correct one.
Yours is the most strong. So 3414.
Mine's the strongest.
Yeah.
3414. Hold on a second. 3414. Okay, yeah. So 3414. Right. Let's see. Okay, so obviously, and we all know this, right? We all know that most names and stuff is going to have like 2 or 3 parts to it, right? And so we have. Let's see. My bad. Where'd it go? All right. So we have. Oh Lord, where is it at? I just had it right here. 14. Here it is. All right. So we got Yahoo, right? Let's see. Okay. So it's Yermeh Yahoo, like Jeremiah, Yahoo, right? Which is
Jeremiah, me.
okay, but it's
ahead,
okay. So we have 7311 and 3050, like just to kind of give you an idea, right? So Yah will rise. Okay. And then we go to where's it at? Here it is, 7311. Yeah, because 7311 means to arise, right? And that's the phrase
Right.
Yahoo. It means to arise. And then we know that Yahmeh
3050 is always Yah.
Yeah, it's always Yah. So we know what Yah is. So Yah will rise. I mean, that's pretty much what it means. Now you can have people that will split hairs, and I'm telling you, if you just like I was telling Saba to go look up people arguing about gravity and density. You want to hear people argue about Hebrew, bro? It gets so dumb. Like, man, like there's people that would say Strong's is wrong. It's not, Yah will rise, and they'll say something. It literally is saying the same thing, and they will argue for 4 hours why it's not really the same thing. Bro, it's completely bonkers. Okay, so we're gonna put. Hold on a second. Yah will rise. Okay, that's pretty much what it means, and what flips up.
So what I got on the strongest strongs is Yahweh loosens, Yahweh lifts up, or Yahweh shoots or establishes.
Yeah, you can use shoot. You can use establish. But in the Bible, spell shoot. Spell it.
SHOOT.
What does that mean? Go look up the definition for shoot.
do you know the difference, or what's the Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon? Do you know? I guess what the difference is with that. I really like to use it. I was just wondering if you know what the origin of it.
Yeah,
was.
let me just say this: when it comes to lexicons or any vines, or listen, I am telling you, when I first started trying to help people get this, I would help mess it up. Not because I don't know how to use it, because I don't explain it as well as the instructions. I'm telling you right now, if you have ever bought anything from IKEA and it comes with instructions, it will behoove you to pay attention to the instructions. So when I first started, I was like, bro, it's easy. And I'm showing someone, bro, it's so easy. This is how you do it right here. And they're like, I don't understand, but why? Listen, I'm not kidding. So what I started doing is I started going to the instructions of the book that the person was holding, and it helped me explain it better than now. There are people who are hands-on learners. I get that. But I'm telling you, every book comes with instructions. And when you learn what the asterisks mean and that, or why there's a double comma, or if you just follow the instructions, it will help you understand. And I don't know how many of hundreds of people that I've helped try to understand any little book that they had. And I'm not trying to be funny. If you just go to the instructions, and I tell people this all the time, just because in one book an asterisk means this, it doesn't mean the same thing in another book. It can mean, and sometimes there'll be 3 asterisks. You're like, well, why is there a double asterisk? It'll tell you why. It'll tell you 100% why. So I've used plenty of lexicons, plenty of vines. And I'm telling you, if you ain't never used the vines, you need to use the vines. Please get you a vines, and it will help you like literally grow the vine between this verse and this verse over here. They do help. The books, there's plenty of tools that can help anyone like try to gain a better understanding. Okay, so I'm sorry, Cornerstone. What else were you going to say about the lexicon? Was that the only question you had about it, or?
I wanted to say something when you're through. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Cornerstone.
The importance of the Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. Just the whatever they do with that, the interpretation of the names from it just really does brings forth a spiritual understanding regarding the name and the context of the passage. I was just that's it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, okay. So the reason why I'm going over Jeremiah, Isaiah, because listen to their names. One of them says, Yah will rise. Flip, did you look up shoot?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. What does it mean?
Yeah, so that's to go through, to flee, to run away, or chase.
That's it? That's all it means? There's not like 5 different, there should be 10.
Drive away, put to flight, reach, extend, hurry away.
Right. Okay. So when a vegetable stock is growing, is that considered something that is shooting out of the ground? Is that a shoot?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So why when we pull out a pew pew, why do people say, hey, it shoots? Does it shoot?
It sure does.
It does, right? Okay. So now, where were you at where you were reading that? Shoot. You should have been at Jeremiah, right? At year. I mean,
Jeremiah.
Yahoo.
The meaning of Jeremiah.
Yeah. So the word shoot is in there, right? Which means to rise, correct? You can use it.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So those words that you were looking up, that's why it's important that the Bible always talks about certain, like vegetables or trees shooting out of the ground. And all those are pointing to Christ growing out of the dry ground. Also, okay, so, all right, so we got 4 names right now. I could do this with the whole Bible. And so, yeah, anybody can lie and manipulate you into believing certain things. But when you start studying further, you'll see that they're actually using a very small portion of something to manipulate you to believe something, when the whole Bible does this, right? The whole Bible gives you Hebrew and Greek names, and you go look them up to find out what they mean in your language so you can have a little bit better understanding. So Michael means who is like God. Gabriel means man of God. Jeremiah means Yah will rise. Isaiah means Yahweh is salvation. So all these names are pointing to God because they are created, made by God. They're shadows of God. A lot of these things are shadows. But to say that one of them is God, now we start getting into a problem. Because we only got 4 names right here. There's dozens of names in the Bible that the people's name are the name of God. They're God's, like it. They belong to God. But I don't understand why people get so confused by this. Because if God created something, wouldn't their name have something to do with God? For instance, even though people don't like this, but we created Satan. But who was Satan before we created Satan? Who was this person or being? Lucifer. And what is Lucifer? Let's look up Lucifer's name. And people argue about this too. That's not his name. His name, oh, my Lord.
Light bearer?
Right, light bearer. So let me ask you this. If God is light and he creates something, would that thing bear a light like God?
No, he's the moon. He's the moon.
Well, I'm saying, who's the moon?
The light bearer.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying before Lucifer fell, right? And I know people argue, well, his name's not really Lucifer, whatever. We're going to use that name because everybody knows who we're talking about. We know that name goes back to the same being. Lucifer, was Lucifer created by God?
Yes.
So he had light. He had light. But that doesn't mean Lucifer was God, right?
Correct.
Okay. So watch this. Are we children of light or are we children of darkness if you've been born again?
Light.
Okay.
Light.
Are we the actual God or is there part God in us? Or are we the actual God? So
No, God lives in us.
right. Okay. So because of that, we're sons of light, which means we're bearers of light. We bear light. The Bible says that you don't take light and hide it. You put it on a hill. But that is the light of God that you put on the hill. But you're not the God. You're a God. If you want to play games and split hairs, fine. You're a God. But what kind of God? Are you capital G God or lowercase g God? If you want to play because I'm talking about all the beliefs that people have. Well, you are God. Fine. Because God lives in you. You're God. Okay, fine. Are you capital G God? No.
I was gonna say,
you're not capital. You're not capital G God. You're lowercase. The point I'm making is you're not the God. So for anyone to say that Michael is the God or Michael is Jesus or anything like that, bro, the whole Bible has these names. And what these people have done, they have they cling to one name and said, oh, well, then that's Jesus. Look, listen, Michael the archangel is not the tree of life.
but I was going to say,
Go ahead.
that if you don't bear his light, he's going to cut you. He's going to cut you off.
Yes. Yes, because he's the only one that makes the final judgment. He does. He's the one that makes the final judgment. So even though God knew that Pharaoh was going to harden his heart, he used Pharaoh's carnality against him. It's so clear that that's what he did. And, but it was still Pharaoh's choice whether he was going to harden his heart out before the final judgment when it says, and God hardened his heart. Pharaoh hardened his own heart 10 times. His own heart. He did it to himself, and God gave him over to a reprobate mind. And that final day, okay, we'll play the game, right? The final day, everybody's standing before God. My friend, at that point, you've already made your mind up. You've already made up your mind. But no one has the power to, with some kind of like wand and be like, okay, reprobate mind. You don't have the power to do that. You do not. The only power you have is to choose what type of mind, whether it's going to be the mind of Christ or the carnal mind. Well, you have you have a choice, but God makes the final
judgment. Or you can come to the light or stay in the darkness.
Yes, that's it. But if you go to the dark, you don't even have the power to cut the light off. Like a human does not have the power to close the door to the light. You don't have that power. You may be in the dark, but from the dark place you're at until God closes that door, just like he did in the Noah's Ark, until he's the one that closes that door, my friend, the option is always there. But when he closes the door, that's because you've chose to be in that too long, and he's going to give you over to what you chose. Real simple. It's not hard at all, actually.
He opens the door. He opens the door to the light.
Yeah.
You can come in or you can stay out.
Yes, it is your choice. That way, when anyone that is with him, living with him for eternity, no one will be able to say, you forced me to be here. Nobody would be able to say that. And people don't understand that. They think, oh, you know what? If he was such a good God, he would just let everybody be of the. You don't want to be there. You know how you know? Because in this world, you don't want to be there now. It's not hard. It's not hard. You don't want to be there now. I'm telling you, they don't realize that when they get to this place, they're not going to want to be there. That's what they're not understanding. They think that their physical body is going to want to be there. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not, because there's nothing pleasing to the flesh there. So what's pleasing to you is the flesh, and the world is so pleasing to you. And you think, and let me tell you something, this is what's sad about Christians. They kill me.
But you really have to love darkness to stay in darkness. And Jesus states they love darkness rather than light.
Yes.
Because their deeds were evil.
Yes, they like it. They love it. Yeah. So it's different. It's different than a person who loves it, who likes it. It's different. When someone gets born again, they start to hate it. But it's not a light switch. Your flesh will never stop enjoying like carnality. Your flesh will never stop enjoying that until you get your glorified body. But while we're here, we're learning how to control the flesh every day. That's why the Bible says to die to the flesh, and you have to do it daily. So when these people who are carnal and they go, what, man, streets of gold, all the fruit you can eat. Who's not going to like that? Listen, this is a person who is of the world, mocks God and says everything about God is stupid. Listen to what they say. Listen to how they believe the Bible. They say that Adam and Eve was running around butt naked, fruit on the trees. Everything was lavish. That's funny. This person's a non-believer. They're not in the light. They're in the darkness. And that's how they perceive the Bible. Then you go ask a Christian about the Bible. You know what they say? There were trees and apples and oranges. They're running around butt naked. That's funny. You have the same understanding as a blind Gentile. And they'll argue with you about what's happening in the garden, but you go talk to a blind Gentile and they have the same belief. Imagine that. So who's blind? Both? The answer is yes, if you ain't figured that out. That's sad that a Christian learns a little bit here, little bit there, but yet we go to the garden and a complete fool of this world says, oh, this is what's happening. You know how he knows? Because he's going to read it. Look, it says right there. There's tree. They ate fruit. They ate fruit, bro. It says it right there. This dude's completely lost. And the Christian's like, well, yeah, that's what it says. Can't add to the text. It's sad. It is sad. Blind as a bat. Yet they love darkness. They live in darkness. And yet a Christian will listen to a man that loves darkness, lives in darkness on what the Bible says. They'll listen to that man right there who's not saved.
I want to give an example of God cutting trees down, but I'm talking men in particular.
Okay.
You remember the story of Hezekiah?
Right.
And Hezekiah, 1 Kings 19. Now, this is God cutting the axe, right? And it came to pass that night, the angel Lord went and smote the camp of the Assyrians, 5,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So that's him cutting trees down in one shot.
Yeah.
Axe.
No, that is a shadow of him cutting the trees down. Yes, 100%. And the verse that you brought up, earlier, John 15, I don't know if you heard me or not, but it is my favorite book and chapter in the entire Bible. That one chapter, John 15, If you truly want to have an understanding of what the whole Bible's about, John 15 tells you everything. It tells you everything in there. Man, John was not playing around when he wrote that one.
So he's going around cutting trees, right?
Yeah. Well, because he says that I'm the vine, ye are the branches, and you have a bunch of debates about this. And whatever branch don't bear fruit, he cuts off, and people go, oh, well, that's pruning, and this and that. Listen, the rest of the Bible talks about trees being cut down, and it talks about a lot of the trees and a lot of the branches being thrown in the fire. And my friend, and again, that's where people have the debate. Okay, well, so if they were part and he cut them off, so then they're not saved no more, which means they were saved. This is where that huge once saved, always saved. This is where that part right there is a huge, ridiculous debate about whether once saved, always saved. And they try to use this right here to say, oh, well, they were part and he cut them off. Well, see, that means they were saved and he cut them off. There's too many verses that talk about other things addressing once saved, always saved. And one of them in particular is when Jesus says, I never knew you. Never. So, when you're mixing I never knew you with, oh, well, this one was on and they got cut off. Well, God knew them. No. It said that branch never bore fruit. Never. It didn't bear fruit.
Could that also be represented when Jesus unalived the fig tree?
Where at? There's a few of them. Which one are you talking about? The one where it said that he came into town and he saw a fig tree from afar and he went up to it hoping to find fruit. Okay, so that tree is talking. Okay, yeah. So that tree is talking about Israel. That tree was. That tree is talking about Israel. Okay, but it's talking about.
Is it talking about the 70 AD? He cuts them off.
70 AD? What? Do what now?
Well, 70 AD was when they destroyed the temple. That's when Rome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let me just get straight to the point. I don't want to talk about years. I heard the ridiculous 70 AD arguments are ridiculous. But look, so Israel, you have to understand. Okay, let me just ask this question. Before Jesus came, was Israel fruitful spiritually before Jesus came? No. That's all it's talking about, is that when he came, they knew me not, right? They knew him not. They did not receive him as an entirety, as the nation of God, the people of God, as an entirety. They were stiff-necked. They did not recognize who he was. And what he said to the whole nation, you'll never be fruitful, ever. Why? Because they're under the law. The whole Bible tells us this. The Bible is not how you receive the fruit of the Spirit. I mean, the Bible, the law, sorry. The law is not how you receive the fruit of the Spirit. Never. It will never happen, ever. It was through Christ. It's always been through Christ. So that's what he did. He's doing... Do what?
You don't agree with the 70 AD destruction of Jerusalem?
What about it? Yeah, what about it?
Well, Jesus said to pronounce that there would be destruction. Not one stone will be left upon another.
Okay.
And that was the destruction of Jerusalem. Yeah.
Yeah. What about it though? What about it?
Well, that's him cutting the tree down because they rejected the Messiah, and they rejected the Messiah.
Well, okay. Yeah. So there's many things that happen that is part of the cutting the tree down. Many, not just one. There's many things, but it's him constantly showing the same thing over and over again. But you can get it just by one of them, and that's the fig tree that he cursed. That one alone established that. All the other ones are just confirming it, but that one alone established it, period. Another one that established it.
The destruction came down because you rejected the Messiah. They were worshiping their temple. They were not worshiping Christ. So they reject Christ, and Jesus rejected them. And that's the destruction in 70 AD. You concur with that, or you think that's just that's not a correct evaluation of the situation?
No. 70 AD always makes me laugh because there is a big group of people that believe that everything was accomplished in 70 AD. Jesus came back, everybody went up, everything's done.
Yeah, I've heard those arguments.
Yeah. So that's why I don't even talk about 70 AD, because the truth is the physical time that something happened truly doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't. And for people to,
because Daniel prophesies about it.
well, again, okay, but what is the whole prophecy? What is the purpose of Daniel prophesying what he's prophesying? What's the whole purpose?
Well, he said the Messiah is cut off at a certain time. I don't know, what is it, 60?
No, I'm asking, what is the whole purpose? When Daniel gives all these things, right? What is the whole point of what Daniel is saying? The whole point.
What's the whole point? He's giving you a revelation. He's giving you knowledge of what is to come.
No,
what it, to the Messiah. What point to the Messiah?
Right, to point to the Messiah. That's it.
Right.
That is it. Right. So what people are doing is they're taking all these years. Well, in so into 1964 and in 68 and then in 70. Listen, Daniel is simply saying one thing. One thing. He's saying the Messiah's coming. He's going to reject Israel. That's it. That's all he's saying. But he's doing it in a way that it was given to him. But at the time, it was.
But then he tells you that a prince comes, a prince which is not referring to Jesus, and that prince, which is Titus, comes and destroys Jerusalem.
Right. But what's the point of it? What's the point of that happening?
The point is Christ is coming. They reject the Messiah,
right?
And then Christ allows the enemy to come destroy the very temple that.
Right. But the whole point of that is to prove that Jesus was the Messiah, right?
Correct. I agree with that.
Right. So what I'm saying is, the semantics, the minutia, the intricate details are only important for one reason: Jesus was the Messiah. That's it. Right. So when people start arguing about, well, in this year, in that year, we might as well talk about Trinity and oneness for another 40,000 years. It's irrelevant. The point is that Daniel told the truth that that when the Messiah came, some of these things right here, he pointed a few of them, these things were going to happen. But that's just Daniel. There's other prophecies that said when the Messiah comes, he'll do this. When the Messiah comes, he'll do this. There's so many things that pointed that he was the Messiah. Some of them was, well, when the Messiah comes, he's going to open the blind eyes, open the deaf ears. That's what he did. So all of them are pointing to him. Now that we know that he's the
trees, right?
Huh?
He's healing the trees that need healing, right?
Yeah. So now our job, instead of arguing about 1964, our job, we already know he's the Messiah. So now what do? Okay, he's the Messiah. Now what? We need to learn more about him. And you're not going to learn a whole lot more about him in Daniel, because Daniel's getting to one point. That's the Messiah right there. Now that we know that who Daniel was talking about, okay, well, what do we do from there? Do we grow, or do we just argue about what Daniel said? We grow. That's the whole purpose of all this. All the arrows are pointing to Christ. And once we see, Jesus is the one that all these people were talking about, now we have to grow in Christ. And we don't grow in Christ arguing about.
You said that in Luke. All the Psalms, prophets, all point to him, right?
All point to him.
I give a quick example. Like Genesis 49:10 says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver between his feet until Shiloh come. Who is Shiloh?
Yeah.
Again, these are shadows of the Messiah. So it's not just Daniel. There's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
69th week that you're talking about, which is accurate, but it's still not something to argue about.
Yeah, no, it's not. What's more important, and I'm telling you, people get lost in Daniel and Ezekiel and Revelation. They get lost in that because on accident, because I don't believe none of them do it on purpose. I believe the motive starts there on purpose, but on accident, they start getting into the end times. That's what they call it, the end times. And you're like, oh yeah, tell me about it. Donald Trump is the mark of the beast. And he's what? What are you talking about? It says that he'll come from here and he'll do this. And I said, tell me again, he'll come from where? It says he'll come from the West. Where's that? America. No, bro. No, bro. No, God, hold on, let me say this. God has his own map. He has a map. And when you learn God's map, and it tells us, the whole Bible tells us what he's looking at. The West is the fallen earth. That's the West. The West is not the map that we have here that is West. That's not the West. It's God's West. That's why he says he'll remove Your sin as far as the east is from the west. God is in the east. On his map, he's in the east and we're in the west. And we're not of this world, but we're in it, but we're not from the west. We're from the east now. Why? Because we've been born again from Eden. Been born again. So they're sitting here trying to use their map of this world, trying to understand what God is saying on his map. Well, if you're not using his map, you're using the wrong map. So Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Why? He comes from the West. Oh, let me see. On the map, West. Oh, no, bro. It's talking about this man is coming from the fallen world. That's what it's saying. It's not giving you a specific geographical location. It's ridiculous. Now, no offense to the people that believe that, but if they would have studied the shadows of Christ before they hopped into the book of Revelation, they wouldn't be lost in their own sauce. But they're completely lost in what they're saying. Trust me, I've heard a lot of it. And maybe 1% of it might be right. And that's like, one day out of the year. So, I don't know if they got TikTok accounts or not, but if they do and they go live every morning, they're right one day out of the year when they ain't saying all that stuff. All the other days are completely wrong on what they're saying because they're using the wrong map.
Before we get too carried away, about the light and the dark.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing can grow in the dark, right? It needs light. And the old Israel did not have the light, right? That light is the love of Christ, right? If we do not have that light, that love of Christ within us, there's potential that we will be sawn off, right? And Paul points it out to all these gifts are going to fade, but there's a certain love that God is looking for that must remain. And you cannot be fruitful or grow anything if your love is not the love of Christ, right? And Christ's love is impartial and not a respecter of persons.
Yeah.
Right? His love is not impartiality. And many people don't even manifest the love of Christ in their heart, and they go out and they teach things that they should not teach because they haven't even received that growth within them regarding love, which is the light.
No.
And nothing has even grown because they're still partial in their love.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always going to be a constant growing each individual, and it's getting closer to understanding what forgiveness is. There's people, if you talk about someone that's mean, or like, let's just say that they've done maybe some bad things in their life, they don't even know the person and they automatically hate them, right? And I've said this before, that's why in jurors, when they go pick a jury in a courtroom, and let's say that this person he's going to jail because they found a kilo cocaine on him, and then through investigation they found out he's probably sold 50 kilos in the past year. They can't prove more than that, but you can guess it's probably possible. And then they start looking at the area, and they're like, man, in the past year we can kind of prove you sold about 50 to 100 kilos. And in that time frame, there's been 3 people that has OD'd on the drug you're selling. Now, you can't prove that they're the one. You can't do that. But what you can say is you are contributing to the society in the way that we don't appreciate it. We don't like that. So this person's looking at going to prison for 10 to 20 years. And the jury, or the people that they're going to pick for the jury, they're going to ask, has anybody here had someone in their family that their life has crumbled because of this kind of a drug? And there'll be 3 or 4 people. They're not going to allow them to be on the jury because they have a certain hate. Not all people, but there's a chance that they're going to be biased in anything they're going to hear because they already hate this man. They could have had someone in their family pass away on a drug overdose on that drug. Matter of fact, it could be in the same town, same time frame. And they're like, man, you're the one. If you weren't out here selling that crap, my family member wouldn't be dead. Whether that's the right or wrong way to look at it is irrelevant. It could happen.
That's right.
So let me just, I need something clarified, Trot.
Yeah.
With the Eden. I haven't been able to figure this out. So, for example, I'm trying to understand the directions in the Bible. I'm still kind of confused. So when it says Eden, so it's Eden, and then there's the Garden of Eden, which was east of Eden, right? Right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. And then east of Eden, east of the Garden of Eden, would be further east, not west. That's the part that I'm confused with.
All right.
In the garden, he planted. He planted a. What did he say? He planted a garden.
Listen, bro. I'm gonna open up my camera. Look what I'm. This is what I'm talking about. This is where I'm. North, east, south, west. Right. Hold on. Let me just try to push it. North, east, south, west.
Okay.
Then you have Eden, right?
Okay.
And then further east, which is that way, you have the garden. I'm calling it the G.
Okay.
Right? And then when I read, for example, like I was reading through Genesis this morning, right? I'm going through another translation just to see some different stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I go through Cain, it says, and Cain went out of the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, east of Eden.
Yeah.
So then it would have to be further east of this, which would be the land of Nod, which is further east.
Okay.
But shouldn't it be west? Like that's the curse side.
Oh,
over there.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, all right. Like I said, Dre, you weren't here. I had to start at 7 because I have to get off at 9. It is 9 o'clock. So I need you to bring that back up literally tomorrow so we can go over the directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up first thing in the morning.
Yeah, bring it up.
So for all the people that say that Trump is the Antichrist, his right ear was anointed like the high priest. So,
You're stupid.
With blood.
Oh, Lord, man. All right. Yeah. So hopefully we don't have to start as early tomorrow, but I had to today.
I can't start that early though.
No. I'm not. Listen, it was today. I'm not saying. Listen, if you can't, then fine. The next time you come, I'm saying the next time you come, bring that up, put it on your screen, and we'll just go over all the directions. If we haven't, I thought we had already.
I think we did, but I still don't understand. I'm not tracking, bro. I took land navigation. I'm not that dumb, but I just can't. That's all right. It's not making sense.
No, that's all right. Bring your protractor. We'll figure it out.
All right.
All right. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop off. We're going to hop off. God bless. We'll see y'all in the morning.
All right.
God bless.